Is this pen? Is this a pen? Where is it coming from? Get it? You have a seed in your mind. It opens into pen, a picture in the back of your head, and you put it on this thing. You lay it on this thing, and then you call this the pen. Is it the pen by itself? He's so good at that. Yeah, it's not the pen by itself. A tiny image rises in your mind. A perfect pen. It's too good. Okay? Remember what I say. Remember what I just said. It's too good to be true. It's too perfect. Okay? For example, it has a back on it. Okay? The pen that you put on this thing has a back on it. You feel that there's a back to the... I'm holding it up. Is there a back to this pen? How do you know that? Why do you think that? I haven't turned it around yet. Why do you assume it has a back? Why do you think you know what the back looks like? You see? It's because, catch this, okay? Now it's the crux of the whole night. It's 9:14 on August 20-something at the Mahasukha Center. And you heard these words, okay? You are just watching the image in your mind. Okay? You are watching an image in your mind. There is no pen here. Okay? There is a stick. It is purple. It has a rounded shape. But what you're looking at right now is not a pen. You are looking at pen. Get it, okay? You are looking at pen. If you get what I just said, you can push yourself into the direct perception of emptiness, really. And then whole massive changes in your evolution happen within a day. Within 24 hours, you become a separate class of being. You become like an angel. You become like a divine being. You become a person who can save a planet or many planets, okay? Just get that one thing, okay? Careful. Get it. When I hold this up and you say a pen, you're not seeing a pen. You are seeing pen. Where is it? In your mind. You are looking at a tiny patch in the back of your mind. Okay? You're not looking at it. You're not looking at a pen. It's not a pen. You are observing pen. Why? How? Prove it, Geshe Michael. Because you see a back. You feel there's a back. You sense there's a back. Your instinct tells you there's a back. There is no back here. You can't prove it. You didn't know that. You didn't see the other side. You don't know. You're watching this perfect little picture in your head. That has a back. Okay? That has a back. Right? That's perfect. It's too perfect. It's too good. Okay? Get this. I'll take you one more step, okay? Don't get lost, all right? Don't get lost and don't get freaked out. Don't go out and stick a pen in your head and die or something, okay? What was I going to say? You can't be seeing a pen. It's not possible. What you think is going on cannot be going on. Why? To see the whole pen, you would have to look at the top, and then you would have to look at the bottom. Got it? You would have to. You can't confirm that it's a pen. Is this a pen? No, you look at you're just looking at the top, right? You're just looking at the top. Can you see the pen? Can you see the whole pen without looking at the top? Can you see the whole pen without looking at the top? Can you see the whole pen without looking at the bottom? When you concentrate on the top, can you see the bottom? But you think you do. Can you just see the whole pen? No, because if you don't look at the top and you don't look at the bottom, you can't tell if it's a whole pen. Can you see the whole pen? No, you have to look at the top, and then you have to look at the bottom, and then you say there's a whole pen there, okay? But by the time you get to the bottom, you don't know if there's still a top there. But in your mind, you think there is. You say, Geshe, it's a whole pen. Geshe, it's a whole pen. That's a proof. That's a tiny little proof. You ain't looking at a pen. You're looking at a tiny image in your own mind. Okay? You are looking at a tiny image in your own mind. Okay? Now, immediately we have to pull you back from the precipice. Okay? We have to pull you back from the edge of the stage. Okay? Don't think you're living in your head. That don't help anything. Okay? Don't get confused. Don't go to the nut house from here. And they say, why are you here? And they say, Geshe gave this teaching, and now I realize all the people I ever met are just in my own head. And I'm just living in my own head. Even all the pens are in my own head. Don't think like that. That's wrong. Okay? That's not the point. That's not the point. Don't ever think like that. There are other. Gyushen Drupa is one of the books that Chandrakirti wrote, Dharmakirti, to prove that he proved that other people are real. Okay? He wrote a book to prove that other people are real, because he didn't want people freaking out. He didn't want people saying, "Oh my God, Lauren Benjamin's just a little image in my mind." It's so lonely. I'm the only person, and everybody else is just a little picture in my head. Don't think like that. Okay? Don't think like that. Is it true that Lauren Benjamin is a small picture in your mind? It is true, but it's always been that way. Can you interact with an independent being called Lauren Benjamin who's in your mind? Can you be her friend? Yeah, and that's all it ever was. Okay? That's all it ever was. And it's enough to be real. Got it? Kochapa. It's enough to be real. She's real. She can be your friend. You can love her. You can relate with her. You can go visit her house. You can have a friendship with her. She can teach you. And still be an image in your mind. No problem. Don't worry about that. Don't think like that. Don't get freaky on it. Okay? Don't do that. That doesn't help anybody. Okay? That doesn't help anybody. Now, next question. Let's go back to clock. Where did clock come from? Why are you seeing a clock? Why did that image pop up in your head? Huh? No, you see, if I held this same object up to the dog, right? He will chew on it. He doesn't see clock. Why do you see clock? Why is there a picture of clock in your head, and why is there a picture of, something inconvenient to chew on in the dog's head? Why? Why? Tell me why. Why are you seeing clock? Why did clock pop up in your head when I held this up? Yeah, you have a seed in your mind for that. Okay? You have a seed in your mind for that. All right? A little tiny clock is popping up in the back of your head. Why? Because you have a seed in your mind for that. All right? How did that seed get there? Who put it there? You did. How? That's karma. Okay? That's karma. What does karma mean? Karma means doing something, saying something, or thinking something which puts a seed in your mind, which later opens into a... Oh, he said, oops. Which later opens into clock. Okay? It opens into clock. You just saw dependent origination. Those of you who care, you just perceived the true nature of dependent origination. How does this happen in real life? How is the final hour before you see emptiness happen? When do you catch yourself with the image thing? Okay? This is very typical, okay? You got up in the morning. You've been being kind to people. You've been meditating at least an hour a day. You've been serving your heart teacher. And you've been studying hardcore with Cliff at the ACI LA Center. Okay? And then you get up in the morning and you make tea for your heart teacher, because of course you're serving them. And you, under the influence of those other activities, it has to be. You have to have that support or it's not going to happen to you, okay? You go to the stove. You know, you're like a normal day. You're like tired. He's getting up early. He's one of those llamas. And you put the pot on the stove, and you turn it on, and you step back to wait for the tea to boil. And you look at the pot, and you realize you're looking at an image in your mind. You know, something happens. Under the influence of kindness, under the influence of your teacher's blessing, under the influence of your study, and under the influence of constant meditation, you go into another, something happens. And you're looking at the thing and you're saying, oh my God, I'm looking at a picture in my mind. You know, I'm looking at pot. I'm not looking at the pot. Right? Focus. You're standing there. You're looking at this thing. And you say, my God, I'm looking at an image in my own mind. Okay? And out there, there's a black, what do you call it? Stick shape. And out there, there's a round shape. And out there, there's a change in the color from white to silver as you go around the side. And there's nothing more out there. There's nothing more out there. Okay? There's a black stick shape, there's a curve, and there's some white. But the pot is in my mind. That thing suggests a pot to me. A pot pops up in my mind, and my mind puts it on that thing. And it makes it pot. Is it a pot out there? Is it a pot? No, it's a bunch of parts. It's a stick, it's a black stick, it's a round shape, and it's some white silver color. Okay, got it? That's all it ever was. It was never more. Your eye cannot see a pot. The eye can only detect colors and shapes. The eye consciousness is incapable. The rods and cones in the eye cannot make a judgment about what an object is. It's not possible. The cones and rods in the eye can only detect shape and color. You can't be seeing a pot. Even in science, you can't be seeing a pot. You're only capable of detecting, the eye can only register colors and shapes. You're seeing a rounding, you're seeing a whitish, and you're seeing a black stick. A black. Okay? And then, because that's all your eyes cannot see more than that. They're just set up to see shapes and colors. That's all. They cannot make a judgment about what an object is. Okay? That information comes in mind, and the mind, then pot pops up. Pot, got it? Pot pops up in the mind. Picture of pot, image of pot. It's made of light. It's like a 3D computer image of light. Pot pops up in your mind, and then it puts it on that thing. It projects it onto that thing. And you think I'm seeing a pot, but you're not. You're seeing pot. Okay? You're just seeing pot. There is no pot. There is no a pot. There is no the pot. You have always been watching images in your mind. Okay? You have always been watching images in your mind. Now, crucial, okay? Especially for you teachers. You cannot leave the audience at that. You cannot say, okay, go home. You know what pot is. Good luck. You know? You cannot stop there. You cannot stop there. Why are we talking about these things? How did I start tonight? What was the first thing I talked about? The plane. The plane that was going down, you know? And the plane is going down for everybody. Everybody's dying. In this room, everybody's dying, you know? I have a joke with my old boss. She was a very rich lady in the diamond company. She used to take me on her trips to Tokyo. Why? So I could carry the luggage. I'm the vice president of the company. I'm making 6 figures. And she uses me as her luggage carrier, right? And I have to stand outside the Japanese cosmetics store with her bags while she spends 3 hours inside to get the most expensive cosmetics in the world. And she comes out and she says, how do I look? And in my mind, I'm saying, you're 3 goddamn hours older than you were when you walked in. You know, you are 3 hours older than when you walked in. You see? No matter what you smear on your face, you have more wrinkles than when you walked in because you lived in the store. You breathed the air. You existed in the store for 3 hours. You're now older. You are closer to your death. in the time it took you to buy the cosmetics. You are 3 hours closer to your death. And that's the story of our life, you see? You go to a yoga class, an hour and a half of boom, Your body is an hour and a half older. The bones are an hour and a half more brittle. The skin is an hour and a half more dry. You keep doing that, you'll die, you see? No, and you do. You see, there's always a last yoga class, you see? So we're fighting against that. Why are we talking about pot? Why are we talking about clock? Why are we talking about pen? Because the world is not coming from the outside. The world is coming from the images you plant in your mind. And you can plant whatever world you want. You see? You can plant whatever world you want. You don't need a body that dies. Because it doesn't exist out here. It's an image in your mind. Plant a different image in your mind, and you stop death. You see? Because the pot's not a pot. And the pen's not a pen. And the clock's not a clock. And the arm is not an arm. It's all the same. Okay? If it existed out there, if there was pots, and if there was clocks, and if there was pens, and if they were out there, then shoot yourself. My brother killed himself. He got it, and he shot himself. He said, what's the use? Why should I waste my time? Kill yourself. There's no point. You can't change anything. If a pot is a pot and a pen is, you can't change. Give it up. What, are you just going to get older? Stop it now. He was 20. He said, I'm at my peak. I can surf Hawaii. That's enough. And he shot himself, So, but if it's an image in your mind, if Chedak is Chi, if a clock is clock, if those objects are images in your mind that you planted there, then anything's possible. All things can change. All bets are off. Arms are not arms. Arms can be made of light. You see? They don't have to be flesh and blood anymore. They don't have to be made of bone. I can have a body of light. Okay? Put the seed in your mind. Find out the seeds for that. Place it in your mind. Purposely, consciously, knowingly. And then watch the body change. It's so cool. If things were out there, hopeless. Life is hopeless. If things are pictures in your mind that are popping up in your mind because of how you treat other people, if the more you take care of others, the better images appear in your mind, then there's hope. Then there's hope, you see? Then you could be the next Jesus in this world. You could be, if you understood those things. If you understood those things, you could teach people how not to die, you see? And that's what seeing emptiness is all about, okay? You finish the tea. You pour it into your Lama's cup. You go upstairs. You offer it to them. You turn around. You go to your temple, right? You sit down. You go into the meditation which you've been taught, which you've been doing every day, and something happens, okay? Under the influence of seeing pot and understanding what pot is, something is triggered within the next hour. Within the next hour, in a deep state of meditation, you see emptiness directly. You perceive emptiness directly. What's it like? How does it feel? It's a higher level of being. It's a higher level of reality. There's no object to compare it to in this world, okay? While you're seeing that object, you cannot see any other object at all, which means you can't be aware of yourself. You can't feel the ground. You can't feel the air on your arms. You can't hear anything outside. It's just ultimate reality, and you are in it. And your mind is in it. And there's no other perception possible. So it's kind of ironic. You can't think to yourself, what? I did it, God damn, I did it, I saw emptiness directly. Because that's not ultimate reality. Those are thoughts. Those are normal thoughts. So while you're in, you can't be aware that you're in. You see? It's chula chushakpa means water poured into water. Your mind is in that state. You are in communion with ultimate reality. Can you tell how much time has passed? No, that's another normal reality, you see? You come out, okay? You come down, and you can't tell how much time has passed. You don't know if it's been a day or a week or 20 minutes, okay? You don't know. All other perceptions stopped, and you just had this one experience. That experience changes your inner being forever. On the level of chakras and all that, it changes your chakras forever, okay? Things happen in your inner body forever. And then there's a beautiful experience that happens shortly before you stand up. It's called Jeto Byeshe. Before you stand up out of that meditation, the heart chakra opens, okay? The heart chakra opens. And you have this perception of like it's like a huge, powerful stream of clear light coming out of your heart, okay? The heart chakra opens, and you have this perception like clear light pouring out of your heart. Huge, what do you call it? Like a pole, I don't know, like a telephone pole of clear light coming out of your heart. And then you go into this very, very beautiful experience. It takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And this is not ultimate reality. That's finished, okay? You go into an experience where faces appear in your mind. You see faces in your mind. And this is very difficult to explain, okay? In those few minutes, you see the face of every living creature in this world, okay? In the minute, at the same time, you see the whole face of billions of creatures. And I'm not talking just people. Animals, insects, birds, worms, whales, you know, all of them you can see in the same moment but separately, okay? In the same moment but separately, you can see the face of every living creature in this world. And get this, on every world, okay? On every world at the same time. Separately and distinctly, you see the face of every living creature in this universe. And they have no number. There is no number. Because they are infinite. The space is infinite. There's no end to worlds. There's no end to the number of living creatures. And you see them all at the same time. Within a few minutes' time, you see all of their faces. And you love them like the airplane. You love them like the airplane. You are loving that many living creatures as in the airplane at the same time. You're having an experience of love for every one of those beings at the same time, okay? It's like, and then you come out, right? You come out, you come down, and you have a third vision, okay? And you see yourself as you will be, okay? You don't become a Buddha, okay? At that moment, you don't become an enlightened being. But you're able to see the future. And you're able to see yourself in the future. And you are standing above a world, you know, maybe with somebody. And you're standing above a world, and you are caring for that world. And you are taking care of all the living creatures in that world. You are standing above a world, and you have the power to care for all those creatures in that world. Because of who you are, okay? You see what you will be, you know? Those three things happen. You see ultimate reality, you come down, you have that experience of those beings, and then you see yourself in the future, and you know how long it will take. You can put a number on it, the number of years. You know how long it will take, okay? And all of that happens because you saw the pot. Got it? You saw pot, and you saw how your mind was making things. Because you couldn't save the world if the world was out there. You can save the world if the world is coming from you. Okay? It's only possible because it's coming from you. Okay? And then you only saw the pot because of what? Sorry, you only saw a pot because of what? Kindness towards others. And you cared for you served your teacher, and you did your meditation every day, and you did your study, okay? And that's all I have to say, all right? So remember, okay? What do you need in your life once that has happened to you? You see? What do you need anymore? Are you going to worry about your rent? Or are you going to worry about what somebody said to you? Or are you going to worry about the traffic? Or what does all that mean to a person who if you've had that experience, what does every other care in the world mean to you anymore? You see? There's no meaning to anything. You know what's going to happen. Then your own life becomes magic. Your whole life becomes indescribable joy the rest of your life. You have no other, what do you need after that? You see? Okay? All right, so we'll spend a few minutes, just sit with it, okay? All right?